My name is Amelia Faxel, and I've been in the parish since 1970, which is 52 years. In 1974, Monsignor called me up and asked me if I would be president of the Altar and Rosary. And I says, Monsignor, I can't do that. I says, I'd rather wash the gym with a toothbrush. And he started laughing, and he says, that's all well and good, but I don't need anybody to wash the floor with a toothbrush. I need a president, so will you be our president? He says, I've observed you and you can do it. So we started a 2-year presidency, 1 year with Monsignor and 1 year with Father McDonough.
Most of our altar and rosary events were in the old parish hall. They were mostly luncheons at the time because there were still not a lot of women working. So what they have now is the Grand Gala, or a night to remember, was a luncheon. It was called the A&R Luncheon. And that's one of the ways that I got very involved and got to know more and more people. There also was sort of a hierarchy in altar and rosary that many of the presidents at that time had already served as an officer of A&R, and they may not have moved up right away, but they were asked eventually, as I was, if I would serve as president after I had been secretary.
The first week, he said to me, I don't have a cup to my name. I don't own anything. And I says, yeah. And he says, but I'm going to plan to retire. And so I would like to terminate the lease in the house on Hiawatha and move in there and stay in the parish because I love this parish. That's all well and good, but I says, now, what ideas do you have? And he says, I think I'd like to put it in the bulletin that I need everything for a home. Which we did, and we got everything. I mean, drapes, curtains, sheets. The only thing we got an abundance of was kitchen tables. We got 3 kitchen tables with chairs. And so we gave them to the poor. So he decided which one he wanted. He moved in, and he was absolutely in his glory. That year with him, that was his last year with St. Mary's officially as a pastor, we had a party for him, a going away party for him. We did a cookbook in his honor with his picture on the first page. We sold so many. We sold about 500 or so. It was wonderful.
I became active in the parish through one of the more established parishioners who invited me to come and help at an event. I didn't have anyone in school yet, and I did help, and I started to meet people. And that's one of the great things to this day about St. Mary of the Woods, the great fellowship that is developed not only after church, but in all the things that are going on at St. Mary of the Woods.
I have many fond memories of altar and rosary. When I was in grammar school here at St. Mary's, I remember the women of altar and rosary coordinating, leading so many events, social events, service events. One of my favorite memories of the Altar and Rosary Society was when they began what was then called pre-Lenten, our pre-Lenten event, which at that time was a luncheon. It was a card event where the women played cards in the parish hall, and it evolved into an auction, and then later became a dinner.
You did serve maybe in another office, and then were eventually asked if you would like to serve as president. And we've had a wonderful succession. I am still invited to this day, although I can't always make it, to the selection of the next A&R president, which is a great honor for me as an older woman. But it's just a wonderful continuation that I'm very proud that I'm still invited. And that's how some of the older A&R presidents feel the same way as I do. It's really a nice thing to do. It's a courtesy that is quite kind.
Eventually, I became a member of Altar and Rosary. I was also an officer, and we continued the tradition of planning events, social and service, and raising funds for the school and the parish, and it's been very fulfilling.
The welcoming aspect of this parish, you can't deny it. It's just so important here at St. Mary of the Woods. And I'm sure it's that way in many parishes, but maybe because we're not a mega church, or we're not a basilica, or we're not 5,000 families, the connections are much easier.